Oh, hello.
Talkline Network Radio, America's longest-running Jewish broadcast network, the voice of the Jewish community.
Welcome to the podcast. You are now tuned in to this episode of our podcast. Today, we are going to interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in our field. And now, please welcome your host.
You're listening to Talkline with Zev Brenner, America's premier Jewish broadcast on the air since 1981.
And we're back to Israel. We got with us right now is Erica Schachne. She is the editor of Jerusalem Post magazine and in Jerusalem, and they just established an anti-Israel Hall of Shame, almost like a Hall of Fame. It's Academy Awards for anti-Semites. So welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I know we met a couple of years ago at a dinner in New York City, so I'm glad we're finally able to get you on air to join us.
Yes, live from my Jerusalem apartment.
So tell us, about this anti-Israel Hall of Shame. It's probably people knocking down the doors to get in, I'm sure, right?
It seems like it. I mean, it was very important for us to say it's non-exhaustive because there's so much to choose from. I actually had to delay it by a week because we really had to narrow it down. There's so many people you could consider. But first of all, the idea just occurred to me as the editor because I was like, has anyone done this? I don't recall seeing it lately. And for me, we're just bombarded all the time with anti-Israel statements, hate, whatever it is. So I said, we're going to do this. That's it. And we tried to get all the different categories, media, business, influencers, politics. We tried to get everything. So we chose about two from every category.
Why didn't you call the anti-Semites Hall of Shame?
Some people believe that anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. I don't agree personally, but I think there's varying levels, and I don't want people to just dismiss it as, oh, those Jews, they're always crying Holocaust, they're always crying anti-Semitism. There is no way when we bring the quotes with this Hall of Shame that you cannot say this person is not anti-Israel. They could say they're not anti-Semitic, but they cannot not say that they are not anti-Israel. So we just wanted to make that point. And we do say in the beginning, in the intro of the whole article, that anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism and being a Zionist and being a Jew are one and the same. You can't separate them. But for the purposes of this, we wanted to start with that.
All right, because the truth is they're attacking under the name of Free Palestine. They're attacking Hasidic Jews, just Jews who are not Israeli citizens. They don't care as long as somebody's Jewish. My daughter just came back from a trip to Iceland, and a friend was wearing a shirt, something about Israel, and they started screaming baby killers. This is all over the world. And this is anti-Semitism. It's not just anti-Israelism.
Right. And that's true. And I do believe that. But in this case, we just wanted to bring out people, because I don't think you could say certain people on the list are not specifically anti-Semites necessarily to the same degree. But yes, it is everywhere. It is everywhere.
So let's get to the nitty gritty. How can you first we picked 10 plus 1, I believe, of inducted into the anti-Israel Hall of Shame, but there's so many to choose from. What criteria did you use to induct them? And were they informed that they were inducted?
They were not informed, but we're going to
have a ceremony.
I know. I would love that. And our cover is it looks like a cartoon of an actual Hall of Fame. So we did it. We checked the followers, the amount of followers that these people have or supporters. And we checked their media outlets or whatever it is. And then also just their quotations. But it wasn't just the most known in every category. We do have some very, very prominent people that you would think of automatically when you think of anti-Israel. But there's a few that you might say, why did you choose this one instead of this one? It's because they're very anti-Israel, but maybe you don't hear about them quite as often. So we don't want to bang on the same drum all the time. So
give us an example. What is the number? Should we start with number 1 or number 10?
We could start with number 1, but it's not, once again, it's not ranked. But in the category of media, we did Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. I mean, they came to me automatically when I thought of doing this.
That was no-brainer.
No brainer. And then we did, actually, this was a little controversial in my office. people from within Israel that we felt had to be called out, like Gidon Levy from Haaretz, and an Arab-Israeli MK, Ayman Odeh, who came onto the Knesset podium and just was spewing this rhetoric. So, and in between we have, the Qatar Investment Authority and George Soros, and so there's a lot.
So you don't have to be non-Jewish to be included. You can be anti-Israel and be inducted from our tribe as well. You don't discriminate among the anti-Semites.
We don't. We are not anti-Semites when tarring someone as anti-Israel.
So who else? George Soros is an easy one, even though his son is probably running the show more than he is these days.
Right, but he's a symbol, and he's the one with the fortune that I guess has not yet been officially moved over.
I believe the son is running thing. From what I remember, he just got married to the former wife of Congressman Anthony Weiner.
Yeah, that's just lovely. Yeah, congratulations,
I missed that wedding. But the point is that he's spending money too, and he's spending his father's money.
I'm sure. Absolutely. I mean, they're Human Rights Watch and, organizations like that. We point out that we just had an op-ed in the J-Post from Alan Dershowitz, who says that Soros is responsible for donating so much money to these organizations that spew so much anti-Israel hate.
And also candidates, people like Mamdani in New York.
He's on our list. He's very much on our list. Yeah. Along with Francesca Albanese, the special rep, I can't even say the word, the rankator, just kidding. The special coordinator in the occupied territories. She just doesn't even hide it anymore. And plenty of people. Yeah.
Who else?
Okay. So I'm going to refer to my PDF because I don't want to miss anyone. And the number might be slightly more actually. So we start, number one is, once again, not ranked. In media, we have Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. Then we move on to different sections. So we name certain names, but they're not the ones that are specifically in the Hall of Shame. So then we have actors, musicians, and entertainers. So we have Cynthia Nixon of Sex and the City fame, and she has just been incredibly vocal. And also Bella Hadid, who has a lot of followers on social media. And then we also do someone who you may not have heard of, Loki. He's a singer, and he just is constantly chanting free Palestine in his concerts.
That's not the one in England who had a big concert where he says F the IDF and
the sidebar we have is on Kneecap. He's being sued right now. So it's really the two of them, but they both deserve recognition. And we also, like I said, we have Gidon Levy, we have the Qatar Investment Authority, we have Jackson Hinkle. And
tell us about Jackson Hinkle. Tell us about Jackson Hinkle.
Jackson Hinkle just rode, I think it was the New York Times that in an unlikely way said that he rode the anti-Israel train to fame. And he's just been known to support Hezbollah and because he's done some anti-American activities even. He's, I think, living in Moscow, and he's he is involved with that sort of media. So he just doesn't hide it. So he's I could tell you if I look down, I'm sorry that I have not memorized it, but how many followers he has. It's quite a lot. And he's very vocal. Okay, so he has, here's what he said. Here's a quote that he said. Zionism is a genocidal ideology that fuels Israel's war machine, slaughtering Palestinians with U.S. backing. And on X, Twitter, less than a month after October 7th. I mean, that's nerve. Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people with nerve. So, and who else is on the list?
So I mentioned Low-Key, that rapper, George Soros, the Qatar Investment Authority, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Bella Hadid, Cynthia Nixon, Francesca Albanese. Yeah, all these wonderful people. Yeah.
So are you going to have, I said it in jest, but maybe an idea to have in Jerusalem, have a ceremony, an award ceremony where you induct them into the Hall of Shame and invite them to come.
That's a beautiful idea. I think we should do that. Absolutely. I happily would be the MC. Or maybe you want to be the MC.
I'd love to. Would have a great time. Now, but and the question though, there's so many people that you left out. What about Iran?
Okay, so we said we said it's non-exhaustive because there is absolutely no way it could fill the entire magazine 10 times over. We originally had tables and tables full of people, but it wasn't something that we could put out in a way that would be like consumable in our magazine and then later online. I mean, I can show them to you, but there's so many of them. But we talk about the different sections like in politics, and we name names there too. We talk about countries, we talk about France and Macron, but we just don't specifically induct them with their name in bold, but they definitely get honorable mentions.
You get the Ayatollah from Iran. He certainly is he should be ducked in the Hall of Shame.
I mean, he should be in the cosmos. I mean, he's the godfather.
Yeah, that's so how did you select the criteria? And those that are just tuning in, our guest is Erica Schachne. She's the editor of the Jerusalem Post magazine, also in Jerusalem, and they have a wonderful article, front page, when inducting people into the Anti-Israel Hall of Shame, written by Judy Sigaloff, who I know for a long time. So it's a great story that you have, but I'm just saying, is what criteria? How many people decided? What criteria did you use?
I would say it's about 3. We did it quickly because I wanted the momentum to continue, but Judith, who was the writer herself, me, the editor, and then we ran it by Tzvika Klein, the editor-in-chief. And we just ran with it because we felt, we know enough. Judith did a bunch of research. I saw it. And then from there, and it wasn't just, it was looking at, here, I'll tell you exactly. Each individual was included according to the number of anti-Israel statements, based on prominence and frequency in sources, and estimated social media followers. So we did want people with a lot of social media followers, but Cynthia Nixon, let's say, only has like 800,000, but we felt because she is frequently just going on and on about it, and she even used her recently canceled shirt that looked just like a Palestinian flag. It just was on primetime TV, or however people get their TV these days. And Bella Hadid, meanwhile, has millions and millions of followers, but they're in the same category because it's just the amount of hate and the frequency and the followers. And then we wanted some names that maybe our readers hadn't necessarily heard of, like Low-Key, the rapper. They've all heard of Tucker Carlson, but he's there as well.
Right. No, just interesting because there's so many choices that you can have. And it's a great idea, and you can expand on it. And like I said, have an award ceremony.
Part 1, part 2, part 3, part forever.
You go. There's so many of them. In fact, I always like to joke. There's so many Hummins and only one Purim. So
exactly. Not every day can be Purim.
Right, but I'm just saying we have so many haters out there. Even though maybe there should be a separate, which is really the same, an anti-Semitic or anti-Semites Hall of Shame as well, because you can't be one without the other. I know you made the distinction to some people that you've chosen that their comments have been anti-Israel, not necessarily anti-Jewish, but it's basically the same thing. But you made that distinction.
Absolutely. And in my own mind, when people say that, it's absolutely apologetics. But because there's constantly this discussion of how Jews cry wolf and we're not taken seriously. So the Jerusalem Post, they could say, oh, they're so, they're in Jerusalem, they don't get it. And they're always claiming anti-Semitism. So here we are. We're saying, no, it's anti-Israel. Do not deny it. And that's it. And anyone with half a brain will make the connection that it's anti-Semitic.
I didn't see Neturei Karta on the list.
Neturei Karta is mentioned from
but not officially inducted.
Not officially. We are happy to induct people later. They all get honorable mentions. You know what I would love to? I hope this goes viral and that people who were not inducted are upset that they weren't in it.
Well, we have to make a big deal about it and have disseminated and beyond the Jerusalem Post. Will this be is this going to be an annual event?
Maybe it'll be monthly for a little while. I don't know. I have to see how it goes, but I definitely want it to continue. I think that people should be called out for their horrible, conduct and reckless, just comments and
people not embarrassed. People are not embarrassed to be anti-Semitic, anti-Israel. It's a change where people look. Tucker Carlson was anti-Semitic. There was a Kanye West episode where he made anti-Semitic remarks. He edited it out to make him look good, but you wouldn't know from that point that Tucker Carlson was anti-Semitic. It only evolved much later on after October 7th. I don't know exactly what point. People suspect he's on the payroll of the Qatari government.
Yeah, he won't be the only one. I mean, people have made sharp turns and suddenly they were fine before. I think it's fashionable now and there's no more shame. Like after the Holocaust, and then there were different eras, but you really couldn't say like Jews, they're money grubbing Shylocks or whatever you want to say, they're hook-nosed Durstürmer, same type thing. But now you can basically say that. It's cool. I mean, and it just is so strange to me. I still can't wrap my mind around it, that it happened after October 7th. It happened like right after we were attacked. So why is it suddenly, I guess it was like the natives felt that the doors were open and now we can just let it all out. Like why turn the blame onto Israel? It just makes no sense to me.
Well, it's a couple of different factors. Number one, I'm based in New York. So from a New York perspective, what happened was you have crime going through the ceiling. You have people attacking other people, and there's no consequence. So once crime gets out of hand, then to be anti-Semitic, there's no consequence to beating Jews, screaming at Jews, attacking them. So I think there's a correlation between increased crime and increased anti-Semitism because people are emboldened by it. And then you have the propaganda. Hamas has done a good job in propaganda. Israel has not been, forgive me, but Israel may be great on the battlefield, but they're terrible when it comes to the arena of public relations.
I find that debatable. First of all, I think a lot of people want to believe what Hamas is dishing out. I think that some people just have hidden anti-Semitism under the surface. Not everybody. People are good people, but I think people don't know Jews necessarily, and they're like, even down south, they probably still believe Jews have horns. I know that people I know have encountered that, but they're lovely people, lovely Americans. But I think they're a little like suspicious being, why are we always giving so much money to Israel? Who are these people? What do they have to do with us? And then when they hear all these reasons and they make Israel into like the big bad wolf and they scapegoat, they're saying we're going up against this poor civilian people. People want to believe it. And also Israel's trying, but October 7th was such a devastating blow. It's still reeling. Israel is reeling. You know who's doing an amazing job? Sderot.
And coming back and bouncing back.
Yeah, resilience. They have a resilience center there that is like a model for the whole world. So everybody's doing what they can. We had great spokespeople like Jonathan Conricus. He's not officially with Israel anymore in the sense of with the government, but he took that role. He stood in for months and months and months. He did an incredible job.
But we need more of that because listen, the whole Hamas Ministry of Health is quoted by the whole world as the authentic numbers, which is impossible. I know they did studies. It's impossible for it to be the way they said, mostly women and very few combatants on their part. It's and the way they're distorting even kids that have sicknesses like MS, and they're saying they're from starvation. It's in the New York Times and elsewhere. So this is all manipulation that they're good at, and that Soros has all this money, and the Chinese bots and the Russian bots have also been anti-Israel. So you have all these factors combined. But I think Israel can do a better job combating it. I know they have its hands full with the war. The most important thing is finishing the war. But in public opinion, even among Democrats in the United States, Israel's numbers are tanking. Even among Republicans who normally support Israel, the number is going down. It's a problem. The evangelical Christians, the next generation, don't support Israel. They support Palestinians. We have to do a lot more homework.
I agree. I mean, Israel could definitely do a better job. And I think it would be good to have English language spokespeople they're really invested. They do have an Arabic language spokesman for the IDF. And Daniel Hagari for the IDF is very good. But I just think Israel can't win no matter what. Honestly, we're held to a different standard, and it's okay to say Jews this, Jews that. If you said it about a Black person, that's it. You'd be canceled forever. I think somehow Israel is an exception, and we can do better, but there are limits. And we're fighting an expensive war. People are really suffering. The money has to come from somewhere. So even though, we get donations and they've been great about it, the people are, who's going to do it? I know this sounds weird, but I just think because for 2 years, it's been 2 years since October 7th, and we're still fighting the war. And
But
emotionally,
that's a matter of debate in Israel.
emotionally, we haven't even begun to process the trauma. So it's very hard to like be good at so many different things while you're just trying to get through the day when someone you know has just died, like someone's son, someone's daughter, and it happens all the time. And it's just, so I think on a human level, it's very hard. But I do think the government could do better. Yeah, I definitely think so.
Absolutely. More spokespeople who know the facts, who can challenge and do. And listen, there's some great spokespeople that are out there, but there needs to be more of it to challenge everything that they say and can immediately challenge them and with facts and figures. I know Hamas makes it up, so it's easy to just make it up. But the fact is, though, if Israel would be better prepared in dealing with it and stick to that, I think can make some impact. Again, it'll change when the war is over. I think the numbers will go down. The anti-Israel sentiment will be reduced tremendously once things quiet down. But I'm just concerned the war is dragging on. And as long as it drags on, those numbers are going to keep going up being anti-Israel.
I know. Well, first of all, some of those people they claim were killed by Israel were actually killed by them. So when they go into the Philadelphia corridor there and, they get shot by their own supposed government. And, but, people aren't really, this is the era of non-critical thinking. People see something on social media and they believe it immediately. It's on TikTok, so it must be true.
See something, believe it, right?
Yeah, so if millions and millions of people are seeing this propaganda, it's hard to fight against that. We can try. I mean, there's definitely TikToks out there that are pro-Israel. And NGOs like Stand With Us do an amazing job.
And by the way, I mean, you can maybe verify the fact. I thought I heard the prime minister say that Israel has given 2 million tons of food in Gaza. That number means that every Palestinian Arab in Gaza would have gotten 1 ton of food. So where's the famine? Where's the shortage? And the fact is, this didn't get publicity. The United Nations changed the definition of famine, so now it's easier to meet that criteria than it was before. And they lowered the standard. So, famine. Yeah, we just changed what did we call famine.
I don't know the exact number. I know that it's been greatly exaggerated, and I know that Israel has let food through, and also that we've been trying together with, I believe, private contractors in America to get the food. But the problem is that Hamas will steal the food.
And even if people get the food, they shoot and kill them afterwards and steal the food.
I mean, it's not exactly like a simple thing in Gaza. It's not a simple process. Israel's not perfect by no means, but everyone's compassionate. We don't want any women and children to starve. Nobody wants that, really. Like, I think, I just don't, well, I'll tell you what I don't understand. And this is why I think it's anti-Semitism or anti-Zionism. What about Syria? That civil war has been going on since 2012. Why aren't you outraged about that? Why are you suddenly waking up after October 7th and pillorying Israel?
It's the favorite. That's what makes it anti-Semitic, that they only choose and single out Israel. Look, Sudan, Syria, look, Iran, they're killing people, Iran. In fact, now they just killed a whole bunch of people suspected of spying for Israel. Pretty much no trial. They'd have mass executions, and nobody says boo. Look at the Uyghurs in China.
I know. They have actual concentration camps there. And actually, the Persians are very supportive of Israel because they know what it's like to live under a regime like that. So
we have our work cut out. What's your next story going to be about?
Oh, goodness gracious. Actually, we're going to make it a little lighter. We're going to talk about, well, it has this component, how Israelis have been treated at film festivals and how they were kind of persona non grata at the Toronto Film Festival and all those things. But we're using that also as a jumping off point to say, like, if you want to educate yourself about Israeli cinema, here are the top movies that you should watch. So
what's the number one Israeli movie to watch?
Well, I don't have that list just yet, but I would say, have you heard of the Borekas films?
I have not heard of that.
That's called like the really, really old school films. Like Mitzi, I forgot what it's called exactly. There's one at Mitzitzim Beach. There's one about Eskimo limon, which is a type of ices. There's one about Chagiga Snooker, like a party in the pool hall. It's really cute. It's a very innocent time that it portrays. And yeah. So there's one called Salah Shabati that it's about in the Mabar Road, the Moroccans that came over and how they were treated.
I think most American Jews probably know Stitzel.
They sure do, and some non-Jews too.
That got a lot of attention. Stitzel, and you have, of course, Fauda, which was well received in the Arab world, from what I understand too.
It's fairly, it's, you know what it is? It's accurate, and I was always afraid to watch it because it would show me the reality, and I feel like I still can't watch it because after October 7th, I just don't want to see it.
Right. I think there was some episode there that somehow was reminiscent of October 7th, if I remember reading correctly.
No, it was really inside. It was fictional storylines, but based on very truthful understanding. So, yeah.
Erica Schachne, the editor of the Jerusalem Post magazine, as well as In Jerusalem. Thank you for joining us. Look forward to having you back. And let me know when the award ceremony is. I think we should make a big deal, televise it worldwide, and induct them, or at least have their representatives come.
Yeah, we'll make them a nice statue, and they can think about who to thank for this honor. And I think you should come in for it.
The Golden Globes.
I think you know what? All Jews are invited. We'll figure it out. It'll be like the Beit HaMikdash. It'll all work out.
It'll be great. No, I think it's a wonderful idea. And induct them. But unfortunately, we have too many people to induct. Thank you for joining. Look forward to having you back on a future broadcast.
Thank you very much.
America's premier Jewish broadcast, the pulse beat of the Jewish community.
For continuous Jewish programs, TalklineNetwork.com, or our 24-hour-a-day listen line at 641-741-0389. For past shows, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, Instagram, and all major podcast platforms, or jewishpodcast.org. Thanks for listening to the TalklineNetwork.com.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.